Welcome to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so our customers can easily choose the best watch for themselves in the comfort of their own home. If you like this watch and would like to purchase it at the lowest price anywhere online, click on the link in the description below to buy it at JazzTime.com. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Rolex Datejust 36 in yellow gold and steel reference 126283 RBR with a slate green Roman dial, also known as the Wimbledon. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the history of the Datejust, then tell you about where this watch stands in the lineup, then tell you about the case, bezel, dial, bracelet movement, finally try it on and give you my thoughts. So let's start with the history. Datejust has been around for a super long time. It's Rolex's best seller. They make the most number of variations of it, and it's their most iconic watch. And as you can imagine, it comes in almost every variation you can imagine, around 1,000 different types. The history is that the Rolex is the first watch, or if not the first watch, one of the first watches to make their watches waterproof. And the creator, when they were thinking about how to name this, they called it an oyster because once the oyster closes, it leaves the water out, and that's that. So they call this case the oyster. Very nicely named, if you ask me, and it's stuck since then. They just had been out, I want to say, for like 80 years or something like that. And as you can imagine, they have tons of different variations of it. And I want to also say, I believe the Datejust it might be the first watch I forgot the woman's name, but she swam across the English Ocean, and she had they asked her to wear a Rolex, or she wore it or something like that, but she wore a Rolex Oyster Perpetual on her wrist as she swam the English Channel. I mean, it's quite a feat. And it just goes to show you how durable these watches really can be. Not only are they luxurious, but also quite durable. Okay, that's a little bit about the history. Where does this watch stand in the lineup? Well, Rolex makes the Datejust for ladies in size 28, 31, and 36. That's small, medium, large. So this one being 36, it's going to be a large size for a woman. Or men, they also make men's sizes in 36 and 41, so that it could also be worn by a man with a smaller wrist, which many do, or a woman who likes to wear bigger watches, which also many do. So it's kind of a unisex watch in that sense. Although I am going to say with diamonds, it does make it a bit feminine, so, you know, probably more for women. But then again, with this dial, this is a more masculine dial, so kind of combines those. At any rate, it's up to you. So let's move on to the case. The case is 36 millimeters. It's made out of stainless steel, and that's my thumb to my index finger. It's a unisex size, and if you turn it on its side, it has a 12 millimeter height, which is a decent size. It's I would call the Datejust 36 as your standard dress watch size. Okay, that's the case. It's also made out of steel. It has a closed case back with a winding crown, and also a locking crown. Locking crown means you have to turn the crown in, and so it's not at fear of opening underwater, which some watches, such as Patek Philippe, you would imagine that they have a screw-down crown on everything. But some of their watches, you simply pull out the crown and it comes out. Even Audemars Piguet does that on some of their watches. Strangely enough, you would think that they would have a better protective mechanism, but they don't. But Rolex does. They have a locking crown. Great idea in my case, in my opinion. Okay, now let's move on to the bezel. Now the bezel here, what makes this watch a bit more special is that it is done in diamonds. Rolex uses the best diamonds, naturally decolored, internally flawless diamonds. And Rolex's options for bezels are either dome bezel, a scattered diamond bezel, a fluted bezel, which is the most iconic, or the diamond bezel, full diamond bezel that you see here. Now, they do a great job of making this diamond bezel look luxurious, but not at the same time not gaudy. They don't make the diamonds look too gigantic, and so for that, that's what this watch costs, almost not double, but at least 50% more than what it would without the diamond bezel. As a side note, we also make this diamond bezel if you don't want to pay the diamond bezel price. You just want to take a regular base model and have us swap the diamond bezel for an aftermarket diamond bezel. It's still real diamonds, not made by Rolex, but made by us. We can do that. It's much less. It's a lot cheaper. You can do that by going to our website or giving us a call. All right, at any rate, that's the diamond bezel. Now let's look at the dial. The dial here is quite an interesting dial. It's the only dial that Rolex does that is both a mixture of index dial with luminescent and Roman dial. And they do that on this, they call this the Slate Dial, which just looks like a dark gray. So it's an interesting dial. You don't really see this very often. Green is the Rolex's color, and so they did a masterful pairing by putting this slate with this green and kind of mixing a lot of stuff in here, this index and all that. So it looks, in my opinion, very interesting. It's just a really interesting dial, and it's also known as the Wimbledon dial because these are the Wimbledon colors. Okay, at any rate, that's the dial. Let's move on to the bracelet. The bracelet here is an Oyster bracelet. Rolex makes it in Oyster or Jubilee. The Oyster makes it a bit more masculine, sporty, if you will, and it's a combination of both yellow gold and stainless steel. And it also has a 5mm comfort extension, so you can extend or contract the band without using any tools, up to 5mm. Okay, let's move on to the movement. The movement here is your standard for this model 3235. It has a power reserve of 70 hours. It's very nice. Okay, let's try this watch on my wrist. Now I have a wrist size of 7.5 inches. I'm a man, and this watch I believe is a little bit too small for someone like me with a wrist size of 7.5 inches. I would suggest it for those who have a 7-inch wrist or smaller for men, or a 6-inch wrist or larger for women. The Datejust is a really beautiful watch. In yellow gold and steel, it's a great combination. This dial also is a very spectacular dial, and with the diamonds, I believe it adds some femininity to a watch that looks a little bit masculine, given that it has a Oyster bracelet and this dial. At any rate, I think it's a really great watch. It checks a lot of boxes. So if you want to purchase it at the lowest price anywhere online, go to jazztime.com.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to Model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model, and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.